A few moments here. There we go. What does the phrase missing addends mean? Well, before we talk about the missing addends, let's talk about the non-missing addends. What are addends, Landon? Exactly. So if I have 6 plus 7 equals 13, these are my addends. They give me the answer to an addition problem, which is a sum. Now, what's going to happen here is the book tries to be very tricky. However, I am confident that you are more clever than they. They are going to do something like this. They are going to give you like 8 plus, and instead of giving you what you're adding the 8 to, they're going to give you a letter which stands for that, and then they'll tell you what this adds up to. Okay, now, if you think that I gave you the speech that math is going to get harder sooner rather than later, or later rather than sooner, I will also give you this speech. I understand that probably most of you right now can tell me what the answer to that is just because you're infinitely intelligent. However, I'm going to caution you and ask you and tell you that I need for you to write this down because math is about finding the patterns that solve the problems so that when you have a problem like this, you can help that and this to help you do a problem that looks like this. 735 plus L equals 904. Okay. This one here, not quite as easy to do as this one here. Okay. Now here's the deal, and I need you to write this down. Okay. When you see problems like missing addends, what I need you to do, because we're going to do not only going to do missing addends, but we're also going to do missing digits in subtraction, missing ones in multiplication, and missing ones in division, and they all get a little bit tougher. Adding is the easiest one. But here's what you'll hear me say 1,000 times. By the way, I had 8th graders come to my desk today, ask me about a quiz, and I told them this same thing. So you too, in 3 years, will come and ask me a question, and I will repeat this, what I'm telling you, to you again in there and say, well, did you do this? And they'll go, oh yeah, I forgot, or whatever excuse they give. Think of an easier problem. Did I miss a T somewhere?
Yeah, it's Hank instead of think. No, it isn't.
What?
Oh, I thought that was a one. Oh, my
No,
God, I thought that
you
was
should
part of
raise your
my.
hand for one.
You couldn't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mr. Pot, think of an easier problem. Now I'm gonna have to start all over again because I lost my train of thought. Think of an easier problem to figure out the process. So much of math can be solved if you just do this. And it won't mean anything until we really kind of talk about it and explore it. But once it does start to mean something to you, then children, you've really arrived. You no longer would be just simple little 5th graders. You will be smarter than the average bear, as the story goes.
Why does every teacher say that?
I know.
Wait, somebody said smarter than the average bear?
Yeah,
Mrs. Stone says it like 50
Oh,
times.
Mrs. Stone.
And Mrs. I like that. Says too.
Need a little bit more. Okay. Here's the deal, and this is what I'm talking about here. Okay, let's go back to the 8 plus b is 17. I never did really get these today, even though some of you know that. Okay, this is an addition problem. I know you know the answers. I'm not going to ask you for it. Unless you have a question about can't read something. Think of an easier problem to figure out the process. Process means really actually the algorithm. How to do a problem here. So here's my first problem here. It's an addition problem. So in my mind, or on my paper, I'm going to write down an addition problem that I know. And most of you know some addition problems. For example, and it can be anything. I'm just going to go with 3 plus 4 equals 7. That's a tough one, right?
No.
Okay, and here is the whole algorithm thought process here. Notice on this one here, see this problem here, 8 plus b, I don't know what the b is. So I go back to my problem that I do know, and I go to that same place. I don't know this middle b, so if I did not know what this number was, what do I do with 7 and 3 to get 4? Because once you answer that problem, then you know what to do with these to find that answer, and you know what to do with these to find that answer, because it's the same type of problem, you're just going to use different numbers. So, Cabran, what do I do with 7 and 3 to get 4? Subtract. So that's the same thing I'm going to do here. I take 17, subtract 8, and I get 9. That's my answer for this. I take 904, subtract 735 from it, which I'm pretty sure most of you can do. We talked about a little subtracting yesterday. 169, that's my answer that goes here. And again, what I get is a lot of kids thinking that they already know how to do it because they can do this here, and then they forget about this, but when it gets to be the harder problems, then they forget about doing that right off the bat. Okay, so always, 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 when you don't understand a problem, see if you can think of an easier problem to figure out what process you do. I'm going to give you a case in point that you maybe don't have to need to know. What if I have this? 308 minus m equals 621. Now that can't be right. Sorry, let me change that. Minus m equals 192. If you're using the think of the easier problem thing, what are you going to think of? A very easy subtraction problem that you know how to do. Kayleen, are there any subtraction problems that you know right off the top of your head? We call those the basic factor subtraction problems. Give me one.
8 minus 2 equals 6.
Perfect. And you get to pick whatever one you want to do. So, trying to make the deductive leap here, I guess I'm missing the middle one here. So I'm missing this 2. What do I do with 8 and 6 that would give me a 2? Answer? Subtract. So that's the same process that will give me what the letter M is in this problem. I just need to take 308, subtract 192 from it, and I get 116. That's what the letter M would be, 116. Okay, but again, too often people think that they know what they're doing without it. Here's my final case in point. What if I had this? What if I had the letter M minus 308 equals 192?
I just subtract it.
And again, I refuse to answer anybody's question until they have thought of an easier problem, like even using the same one over here, 8 minus 2 is 6. If I'm missing the top of a subtraction problem, what do I do with 6 and 2 to get 8? You add them, which is what you would do here to get your answer. Even though it's a subtraction problem, you actually have to add, in this case, to get, 500, nice work on that one, to get what answer you get there. So, I will tell you, like I told the 3 8th graders that asked me today, when you come across a problem, here, and I'll tell you here, I will give you one, maybe you can get it. Maybe you can. I'll give you the exact problem, and you see if you can do an 8th grade problem by doing what I did right here. Their problem was this. The letter M divided by, well, I'm going to show you what it looked like. Well, no, I'm just going to do it. M divided by 9 equals 45.
I can do that in my head. That is so easy. I can do that in my head.
Now, children, right away, everybody jumped on the bandwagon, and here you are my poster children now. For those of you that said the answer is 5, you are my poster children for the reason why you do this. You're wrong, poster child. That's why you're the poster child. That's why I can say thank you for being what you said what you did, because you have proved my case. Think of an easy division problem. Somebody know division? I hope you know division. Give me a division problem, Sammy Bollinger. 9 divided by 3 equals 3. If, ladies and gentlemen, here's where the great ooh and ah moment Alex is going to have here. If I'm missing the first part of my division problem, and I know the second two, what do I do with the second two to get the first one? Caleb? Multiply. Hence the reason you would have to take 45 times 9 to get this answer. Which I don't know if you multiply those big numbers, I don't know.
Yes, we can.
So I'm just saying, a lot of times you see these numbers and automatically, I understand why 5 popped in your head, because as soon as you see 45 and 9 and you think multiplication and division, 5 comes into your head. But it's not always, you always want to slow down, check yourself with that, and see where you go. You are now somewhere up close to the 8th grade intelligence, because we figured that out there yet. Think about how that works. Now, we are not done with this just yet, because it gets a little bit tougher. Everything they're gonna give you, I think, is addition, so you don't have to worry about any of the subtraction stuff, you don't have to worry about that division thing we did, you just have to remember about the subtraction. Just addition, I believe. They give you another problem that looks like this. 6 plus 8 plus t equals 39. The only difference is, instead of just giving you one number plus t, they've given us 2 numbers plus t. I will take any suggestions what I should do first. Anybody thinking? You can't be wrong, Taylor, you just suggest. Well, not yet. Yes, in the end, we're gonna do that after we do the very first thing. Meg?
Add 6 and 8.
Exactly. You know you can do this part to figure out what you get totally. So now I have 14 plus t equals 39. And you feel free to write it sideways like that. Feel free to write it up and down like this if you want. Either way is acceptable. And then this would be the point to which you'd say, oh, I'm going to do an easy addition problem. Maybe it's 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, if I'm missing the middle, what do I do with 4 and 5 to get the 1? I'm going to have to subtract, so 39 minus 14, I don't know why it's not writing, 25 would be the answer to everything that goes there. Does that sound relatively simple, easy? And again, I don't think they give you any subtraction stuff, so you should be pretty good on what's going on there. But I do appreciate you